Welcome to the UDP Broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and talk about gaming-related topics offering both informed and uninformed opinions. I'm Luminary, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, the Nordic Cajun.
Oh, what's up, everybody? It's going to be fun tonight.
The Eternal Barcode, Imee.
Angry barcode noises.
And from the Emerald Dream, Raina the CritChicken.
Bok, bok, bok. Good night.
Good morning. Yeah.
Morning, good evening, and good night.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my brain is broken.
It's episode 19. I was telling Cajun in the pre-show that we are roughly about 2 to 3 episodes off from having half a year's worth of content for doing a podcast every week. So that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Look at us.
I know, right? So,
Amazing.
needless to say, I think we like doing this.
Yes.
Hell yes. How could we not?
Fun, yes.
Well,
You gave us all a soapbox to stand on. Of course, we're going to have fun with it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make that soapbox the stage at some point. Just hold on to your butts.
I get people to hang out with and have
Yay.
talk
Yes.
about stuff with.
Tonight we're
One
talking
of
about.
us. Sorry.
Just derailed already.
No, just making sure that if we're gonna do the chant, I want to make sure I didn't interrupt the chant. Tonight,
One of us. One of us.
One
One of us.
tonight we'll be talking about lawsuits, sentences, and dungeon time. So sit back and enjoy the show. Lawsuits. Let's talk about lawsuits for a second. There's one going on with the FTC against Microsoft, and I believe there are 2 other entities joining in with Sony on this. Crit, what do you have on this?
Oh, it's a whole bunch of fun. The whole NVIDIA Google debacle with Activision Blizzard and I guess King because who cares about Candy Crush? You know, they're like, no, you cannot have this merger going on. How dare you think about doing that while Google's in the background destroying freaking platforms like Stadia, LOL. It would be very horrendous if they did this because it's a giant move and it would be bad for our games.
How dare they? How dare they?
What?
I mean, we touched about Stevia not too long ago. Stevia.
Yes,
Stevia. Yes.
I do like artificial sugar. Yes.
The Google shit. We talked about that not too long ago. So it's not uncommon for Google to be in the background just silently killing their own dreams.
Stares in Google Glass. Google everything.
I was so excited about Google Glass too, man. It was so
Oh my god. Do you know how many people wanted to run around saying Google image search WotC send?
No.
Yes.
They're dropping that stuff.
Google opened 12 tabs and searched vomiting and diarrhea.
No.
Hey, Jalen.
Jalen!
Yeah, the fact that I understand why the FTC is suing because Microsoft has said, "Oh, we promise to keep shit on every console for 10 years." But in 10 years, they can absolutely get a stranglehold on the market that they're already very dominant in. If they get their grubby, if Microsoft gets their grubby paws on Activision, that is a ridiculous income stream that they now control. And with them wanting to push Xbox Game Pass and more Xbox consoles, they can easily shut out PlayStation and Nintendo. So I can see why the FTC is sitting there going, probably not good because there's no competition. I think they would end up being larger than Sony Entertainment Online. I think.
But think
Don't
about
quote
it
me
this
on that.
way. What happens if people can actually access World of Warcraft via Gamer Pass as well? More people to play with.
More people to play with, yes, but again, you're still stifling competition because now there's one less publisher. And when people are like, "Oh, it's not going to stifle competition," look how many cell phone providers there are. in your country, and even my country, like in Canada, like there's not many. They operate a ton of brands, but overall, there's like what 3 major players in Canada and what like 4 maybe in the States.
And then Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds is like, "Hi guys."
Yes,
I got my
Ryan
own phone
Reynolds.
system now.
Yeah, he's a gem. But I mean, at the same time, it's like all these companies have been bought out, which has stifled competition. It's always been purchased out or bought out on the premise of it'll increase competition. It'll be better for consumers. It's like, no, you're limiting choice, which means prices can easily go up. You can collude to raise prices. Hell, Canada had a fucking like massive court case with bread price fixing of all things because there's so few bread producers on a national scale. So that becomes a significant cause of concern that I think the FTC is doing a good job of trying to address through this lawsuit. And Microsoft, really, I don't trust them.
No.
As much as I like Microsoft, they have made very questionable moves in the past. They don't have a good pulse on things, I guess is the easiest way to put it. I mean, fuck, they were so late. I'm always going to hold them to this. They were so late getting into the browser scene that IE had no chance. Because this internet is just, a fad. The hell did you just say?
It's like it's going away. It's never coming back.
Goodbye,
No.
Netscape Navigator. Hello, Microsoft.
Yeah, nobody cares. Microsoft, go away. Shut up, Clippy.
Don't get mad at Lumi's future voiceover. Leave it alone.
Okay, so if Lumi does Clippy voiceover, I will be happy. Until then, I hate Clippy, and he annoys me.
Like, could you imagine him tapping on the screen? You just hear Lumi. Can I help you?
I think you have to fix your grammar a little bit. Need help with that? Here's some suggestions. Get better, kid.
No.
No, I got to do like my buddy Nipple Salad and put slurpy noises at the end. Hi, I see that you're trying to correct this document. And maybe.
Oh no. So back to our lawsuit. I think NVIDIA is also in on the lawsuit game now as well, trying to prevent Microsoft from buying everything. And correct me if I'm wrong, but NVIDIA is supplying graphics cards for the Xbox platform, is it not?
I believe so.
That sounds right.
I do not know.
Because I think, yeah, it is an AMD. So it's their CPU, their Series X GPU. So NVIDIA would also be at risk of being shut out by Microsoft owning Activision, because now you have one less game company for them to build hardware for. And PlayStation is really, and I think Nintendo might be using AMD stuff as well, but PlayStation I think is still using NVIDIA, but NVIDIA does stand a lot to lose by this as well, being kicked out of the market, because then it just becomes easier for Microsoft to say, well, we're going to go back to the decades of this is optimized for AMD or optimized for NVIDIA, and you'll get extra graphical features if you use our like an AMD video card versus a NVIDIA card and bullshit like that. I don't know if you guys remember that from back in the day. I think that was circa 2006 to roughly 2015.
I was
in
too
there.
busy
That's
trying to do my classes instead of worrying about graphics cards. But
yeah, like it was just brand exclusives. I know a lot of games that were NVIDIA optimized had extra graphical options that were only accessible if you had NVIDIA product, which I think is absolute trash.
and Nintendo's over here just like being like, yeah, who cares? We have Pokemon. And then Lenovo's like, I'm just gonna steal your designs.
Nintendo is, I swear, is like the Apple of the console world. It's like, we have funny shaped things for fun.
Meanwhile, in the distance, the iMac's crying.
Yeah. Nobody cares about iMac.
Like when people told me they used to get Macs for gaming, I was like, why?
Sony's larger in the video. Sorry, Enigmatic Gaming threw up something in chat here. Sony's larger than Microsoft? Well, I guess, yeah, they would be, because they're still bigger than Activision. But one of my concerns is that, if you have Microsoft's reach plus Activision's reach, it's just going to get out of hand. And my fear, I think, is echoed by the FTC, which is lack of competition, more going, and like I said, just going back to that whole exclusive bullshit where it's like, you have to have this product for it to work. And yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I do appreciate that Microsoft actually recently ran a pro-union ad, which is awesome. And I do like that they've said they're going to work with unions and recognize them and everything else. And like, that's amazing. But at the same time, it's like, but do I still trust Microsoft?
So
This is kind of opposite of Activision's stance on how they treat their employees.
I mean, it's hard to sync to Activision's level.
So I got Cajun. You need to ready your shot glass for this
Okay,
one.
hold up. Let me get it.
I'm waiting.
Opens jar.
Opens jar. Oh no.
Probably has moonshine or something.
No. What happened was that there was a he bet me he was shiny hunting on Thursday, wasn't it, Cajun?
No, Tuesday. Tuesday when this went down.
Yeah, so he was hunting a Q-Font and its evolutionary form. I don't remember what the name is at this particular point. And he was like, I tell you what, let's make a deal, Lumi. What we're going to do is that you get to choose. Whichever one gets picked up first, you get to tell me what I drink. And if it's the other one, I tell you what to get to drink. And that was the whole thing, right? And I don't drink at all, right? So it's one of those things where I guess you can tell me what to drink. I'll drink. It's fine. But he was like, I got some suggestions for you. I was like, no. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it my way. And I was like, you ever heard of Doka Ryan? So Cajun has infused tequila with limes. So he took limes, stuffed it in a mason jar, poured tequila all over it, let it sit for the last few days.
Oh, got you.
That sounds like a lemonade I used to make.
Are you ready?
Yes, the shot glass is primed.
All right. So this sounds like a classic case of gatekeeping.
Mazel tov.
I'm just going to frown, face palm, and have a very long drink from my wine.
Okay,
Got it. That was a good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I can't stand the taste of tequila straight. But with that lime in there, that was amazing. I ain't even gonna lie. I tasted no tequila. I tasted straight citrus. It was great. And now my entire insides are warm. This is gonna start getting good here shortly, boys.
Oh no.
Ooh.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir. Now I got to figure out what I'm gonna do next because I couldn't find a freaking mason jar in time. Like I was frantically trying to figure out what to do. I even asked a friend who at work who was going out for lunch to see if they can find me one. Ended up bringing me back a freaking pitcher with a nozzle on it. I'm like, that's what good. I'm not trying to die. Saturday.
I mean,
You said sippy cup, right? No, mason jar.
I said mason jar, and thankfully, when I got home, I remembered that I had some of the some old smoky moonshine in my fridge that had like a shot left. So I poured it out and rinsed it and cleaned it out, and I was good to go. And I'm glad I did because oh my god, that was so good. And I can see why Joyce liked her margarita earlier.
I got another one for you.
Okay, hang on.
Let him pour out another shot.
Shot acquired.
All right. So, I guess you can say Bill Gates is coming up and trying to finish the jobs.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. This is going to hurt. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Well, Jobs, didn't you hear Jobs already got finished?
That's what I said. That's what I meant. Oh,
well,
yeah.
So while we're recovering from the puntastrophe, just to catch everyone up, a little bit of the facts. The FTC has a lawsuit out by behest of Sony for non-compete in several ranges back in December 2022 because it's a huge thing because it's covering multiple spaces and multiple industries, be it game streaming, exclusivity, subscription services, and even Phil Spencer. Was it Spencer? Yeah, Phil Spencer previously stated that Microsoft really wants Activision for its mobile gaming capabilities. Hopefully not Diablo Immortal. That's all NetEase. But
you mean Diablo Immoral?
Yeah, we're not.
But they need Candy Crush on Xbox Mobile.
Don't you guys have cell phones?
Cell phones, man?
It used to come pre-installed on your Windows 8, 8.1, and 10 installation. You can go, you could probably open up your start menu and go Candy Crush, and it'll
So-
probably be there.
Fun fact, I have Windows 10 Professional because I like my group policy editor. And the very first thing I did was uninstall Candy Crush via PowerShell.
Nice.
If you uninstall it through just the app manager or through appwiz.cpl, programs and features, I'm that much of a nerd. It doesn't actually get rid of the installers, and on some feature updates, it was getting reinstalled. So I went through PowerShell and actually canned the install files.
Nice.
And you were
'Cause
getting
it
on
is
to
an
me
app,
about
and
talking nerds, like, yeah, I'm gonna throw it into this. You're like, oh yeah, no. And now you're all like admin, PowerShell, buck.
Yes, because I like my group policy editor.
No,
I
it's
manage my group policies.
not buck. It's beep, 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 beep.
That is very accurate.
There we go.
Mhm.
Beep,
She's
beep, beep.
100% accurate on that.
Always be beeping.
Yes,
Mhm.
when I swear it is not actual words, you just hear angry barcode noises.
If you're not beeping, always be booping.
Yes.
Something else that's really interesting about this story is that a Microsoft rep told Bloomberg that they're prepared to address and are proactively addressing issues raised by regulators and competitors to ensure that the deal closes with confidence. So it appears that they're wanting to make the best effort forward, and that's great. But
I still don't trust Microsoft. I don't know what it is, but I've never trusted them. Probably because they've never really been good at making games. And Flight Sim 10 or FSX Steam Edition exists. That's a good example. But yeah, I don't know. Microsoft has always come across to me as a company that is behind the times, doesn't know what it's doing, and tries to buy its way into a space and fails at buying its way into a space. Granted, it has done very well for itself with the Xbox since the Xbone, but even then, it's always come across to me as just like old grandpa or old uncle that's like trying to be cool, like that Steve Buscemi meme, like "Hello, fellow children."
It just sounds like the Nintendo of the West.
Yeah, they've always just like put me off for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm hip. I'm cool.
well, over the next few months or years or however long this acquisition is going to take, because $69 billion is a lot, and whoever chose that number was hilarious.
Nice.
But yeah, keep an eye out on the
Nice.
news space. You're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff. They've already got 10-year non-exclusivity deals for specific IPs and all kinds of other things. So
Yeah, and
we're
I don't
gonna
like
see
that
how-
10-year.
I do want to say one thing though. I know this is like a different conversation altogether, but just because you said IP exclusivity, can we stop with console only releases? Are we done with
that's
that yet?
another. No, we're not done with that yet because that's going to be something that's around forever, up until someone loses a lawsuit on a competition-related suit, because console exclusives have been around forever. And like Halo
Forever.
2, Halo 2 was Xbox and Windows Vista exclusive.
Remember Soul Calibur having different characters for different.
Yep.
Yep.
Link for Nintendo, Vader for PlayStation, and Yoda for Xbox, right?
I believe so.
I think one of them had Kratos in it too. Can't remember which one that one was.
I forgot which iteration that was too, but he was badass in that iteration.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
Like
Well-
Enigmatic said, Sony's never going to give up on the exclusives.
Laughs in PC Gamer.
Well,
Laughs in
until-
PC Gamer, but cries when the exclusives affect me and I can't play the game.
Nah, I call it just stubbornness, but there's not any games out there that's been dedicated to a console I've cried over. I think the only one I've got kind of butthurt about was the new Final Fantasy remakes, and now they finally gave it away for free for PlayStation 4, and I was like, okay, I'm good now. So, but it's like that just seems weird to me, especially for the publisher. Like, I'm going to isolate myself to one platform and cut off any kind of income from any other platform forever.
It depends on how bad
Yeah.
you want to get your game out. I know that FromSoft did that with their Demon Souls. and it was also bundled in with Microsoft gaming service at that particular point. I forgot the name of it, where they're giving away like lollipop points or something like that as you got achievements. It's like the predecessor to what we're experiencing now across all platforms. But we should probably move on to sentences.
Yes.
So, sentences.
Incomplete or run on?
I think it's incomplete at this
Y'all
point.
gotta take a shot for that one, bitches.
I think it's ongoing at this particular point. I mean, we are talking about Squanch Games' Justin Roiland, the co-creator of Rick and Morty, and the shenanigans that's going on there.
This makes me so sad. It really does.
Yeah, it does, but we haven't seen anything yet. Or if there is something that I haven't seen and you're going to bring up during this podcast, by all means. But as far as I know, it's all alleged. The accuser is remaining anonymous, which, as you should, you don't want that kind of limelight, especially for somebody as prolific as the voice of Rick and Morty, one of the cult classic shows of our time at this particular point. And now the voice of Kenny from High on Life, one of the largest selling video games of the year, I believe, at this particular point. Mind you, we're not even a month in, but that's what's going on. So they're saying that in January 2020, with an anonymous Jane Doe was dating Roiland, and he was charged in May of 2020 and then was released on bond, $50,000 U.S. bond, U.S. dollar bond in August, and now arraigned in October of 2020. So this is still going. What have you found out, Crit?
Well, a lot of searching on Twitter. If you actually just look up his name, you can actually see a bunch of text messages and DMs from women and young girls or whatever involving Mr. Roiland. So, I mean, it's kind of, when a lot of people are also comparing it to like, oh, well, maybe this is why, he has certain topics on the show, like with, what is it? His daughter, going on dating apps and this and that and the other thing and doing promiscuous things, even though she's underage or whatever. And it's like, people are like theory crafting if it's like based on certain encounters.
Yeah, there was one screenshot for receipts that you showed me, and he starts out weird, then gets and then just gross because he's like, we need to make an episode like of this where everyone's doing stuff all over you and covering you and stuff, and we'll throw in the rape word in there as well. It's like, ugh, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's a story of like you never want to meet your heroes, and this is not even a situation of us meeting this guy, but we're being forced to see his dirty laundry being put everywhere, and it sucks because his show was so good. It's so good. Everybody loves Rick and Morty. If you don't, it's one of those shows like you either love it or you hate it. But those who love it, they're cult fans of the show. Yeah. And I said it before the show before I didn't put two and two together because Unga Bunga Brain. I was looking forward to the game. Didn't realize his ass was the one voicing all the good stuff. And of course, now my ass is not going to be playing this game, obviously. And it sucks because you have all these people that you have in high esteem and their work is in high esteem. And they just... I saw a picture on Twitter of Rick and Morty beating the shit out of him. Like, I can't. Nice. I think he even said like, "You're such a jerk." Yeah, you're such a jerk, man. And they're just beating him with a bat. And I was like,
my problem is, and my where I feel bad for things is all the people that work on the show, all the people that work in his video game company are all at risk now of losing their jobs because if Rick and Morty gets canceled, that's what, like, there's well over like 50 or more people who work on a cartoon show. They're all out of employment. Yep. The video game studio, if that goes under, that's countless people who are out of a job now as well. And for what? They didn't, if as long as they weren't part and party to the behavior, as long as they were truly unaware of it, then I won't hold them responsible for it in any way. But if they knew about it, then fuck them for not saying anything. But at the same time, that's a lot of people who are at risk of losing their jobs now because one asshole decided that it would be a great idea to send some of the most disgusting things possible to another human being.
Oh, it gets even worse than that. I believe Kotaku, and during the whole bit of even this thing going on right now with domestic violence with the anonymous Jane Doe, not involving him directly, but just being the head of Squanch Games, there was incidents in his own company that Kotaku initially put out, and now it's being echoed everywhere else, where a game designer, Sarah Dukakis, was sexually harassed, belittled, and by then technical director by Jeff Dixon. Right.
Yeah, and that's disgusting.
Yeah. Then went and complained to her managers, and the executive manager at that particular point, or executive officer, Tanya Watson, and it was never addressed. She was fired for poor performance and then pressured by Watson into signing a liability release as part of her severance package. Like, hey.
Well, the worst. Yeah, and what I thought was even more confounding was the fact that she'd had amazing performance reviews from all her management, and then she was still fired for underperformance. And when I hear shit like that, when someone is fired for poor performance, and yet they have amazing reviews from management and their direct supervisors, it's personal. Oh, yeah. Something has happened. That person has been viewed as a liability to the company. And the only way to address it is to remove that person from the company to protect the company. And this is why I will always remind people that HR is not there to help you as the employee.
So I'd like to quote Harvey Dent. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I literally said the same damn thing when I saw that picture. Same exact thing.
So, yeah, Justin Roiland, potential to confirm scumbag. We're right there. I mean, as it stands right now, his lawyer, or his attorney, Edward Welburn, said that, oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. Said the Squanch Game chief executive intends to clear his name and described media coverage of the situation as inaccurate. To quote it, it's hard to overstate how inaccurate the recent media coverage of this situation has been. To be clear, not only is Justin innocent, but we also have every expectation that this matter is on course to be dismissed once the district attorney's office has completed its methodical. There we go. I was like methodical.
English hard.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Words are hard.
Methodical review of the evidence. We look forward to clearing Justin's name and helping him move forward as swiftly as possible. So
and don't get me wrong, innocent until proven guilty. But according to what I've read and what Lumi, and Critter told me to go look at, there's plenty of receipts to show this bastard is guilty as fuck.
That's when they tap Elon Musk on the shoulder and be like, I need to see the archive of his DMs, please.
Yeah.
This is right up there with what we were talking about in the pre-show. It's almost parallels Warwich, because he denied until Twitter was just like, oh yeah, DMs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the whole blind. There were screenshots and receipts everywhere. Like, if there's receipts and people have them, you're not getting away. It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
It's so easy to not be disgusting, and yet for some people, it's like the most difficult. It's easier for them to like pull out their own teeth with their bare fingers than it is to not be a disgusting human being.
It's a mental issue, dude. It's a huge ass mental issue.
They think
it's a total mentality issue. Like, I'm better than everything. I can do what I want.
What was that?
The thing is, I was going to say, I think with most people, they perceive, since I guess with fame and money, that they have power or something, and then that
Harvey Weinstein. What?
Yeah, it can essentially be their undoing, because they get into this thing where nothing can touch me. I'm impervious. I'm good. I'm golden. Let me just have a harem of little girls and everything will be fine. No.
And it could easily be a situation like what happened with Dr. Disrespect a few years ago. Dr. Disrespect is a prime example of a guy that was a big time nerd, got a big niche, got a big time thing going for him, and messed up. That
Are
is
you talking when he took the camera into the bathroom?
No, that was something else completely. That was just him being retarded. Sorry for using that word, but that's what he did. He
broke California law.
But I'm talking about when he did that whole debacle about coming out and saying that he was unfaithful to his wife.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He literally broke character. He was in his normal clothes, no shades for the first time ever. They all saw him without shades, what he looked like. And he was talking about how he was unfaithful to his wife, and that she and her were going to counseling and all that good stuff. And he vanished from Twitch for a few months because of it, and then came back and was bigger than ever. But I truly believe he did mess up at some point with another woman. And kudos to those two for figuring out, fixing it, and they got multiple kids with each other now. So good on them.
Every time I hear these stories, that South Park episode of "We're sorry" from BP just runs through my head. Like,
oh, like the telephone operators when they're rubbing their nipples.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we're sorry. Or the what is it? BP.
Yes.
Yeah, BP.
Yeah.
We're sorry for screwing up the ecosystem. We're sorry.
So sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry we got caught.
Well, let's move on from this because the huge stars need to realize, yeah, you could protect yourself in a court of law, but that doesn't protect you from the court of public opinion.
Yep.
Case in point.
Gulp.
Oh my.
Coming up next, boys and girls. Go ahead, lead us in.
But we have to get opinions. I understand that one of us has had their first experience with rolling some D20s.
Yes.
Oh no.
Let's start with the good, and then me and Amy will take it from there.
So tell us about it. What's going on? You said that you did something. So tell us about your recent adventure.
I got deep into the D&D. A little bit phrasing, yeah, definitely hard phrasing.
Is that shot worthy? I don't know.
Yeah, that's shot worthy. Absolutely.
Double down. Anyway, a little bit anxiety because I haven't role played since my days of AOL or Moonguard. LOL.
My. Fellow lady of culture, I see.
And yes, I would go into Moonguard and actually be on my pallet and go, this place is quite disgusting. It should be purged. Yes.
Yeah, I don't role play.
You do if you play Dungeons and Dragons. Beep boop. Hey.
True. Facts. She is spitting facts.
I
Construct
mean,
your character. I know what you did last summer. Bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, I had fun. I learned about how trolls work in an interesting way. But
oh god. Things were, put it this way, things were
swoop.
sliced off that should not have been sliced off, and then began to wiggle.
People were using it as a piñata pretty much, and I was like, you know what?
Well, we weren't using that part of him as a piñata. We were using his act.
People were coming up to him and punching him there, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting sick of this.
Oh, she's not kidding.
No, I know what she meant. Because I remember the pictures we sent to each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she took a sickle to that thing.
I'm dead. I'm sick.
Take a shot.
Here's my favorite part. Is our DM. I found out today that Dungeon Master is actually trademarked by Wizards of the Coast. That's why every other system calls it a Game Master or something similar. But Dungeon Master is actually trademarked. And anyways, our DM told her to roll a d4. How many hacks is it going to take? She rolled a nat 1 and took it completely clean off in one swipe. She pulled a very infamous situation that happened years ago, back in the late 90s, with a woman who was being sexually assaulted by her husband at the time, who decided to remove the tool of assault.
Bob it.
She sickled the pickles.
She
Slap
did.
it.
Yes, Lorena Bob it.
Stop it.
Yes, so the wonderful Raina here sliced it off in one shot with a sickle.
And then it started growing legs and arms and a head. And they grabbed him. And they grabbed it.
They
And
go like
threw it
all
in the fire.
Spaceballs with the little top hat. Hello, my baby. No.
Well, by that time, so when we have so many people in the campaign, it's great. Action economy is amazing. There's so many players. But when it came to my turn, I cast bonfire
Fireball?
underneath. No, I don't. It's only level 1. I don't have fireball yet. But yes, that is coming. I don't care about the room size. I'm casting fucking fireball.
I don't care if there's no windows. I'm casting fireball.
Yeah.
In enclosed space, it's not fireball. It's sanitize.
And then we
Or
were like,
sterilize.
hey, we're roasting sausages today.
Yeah. I cast bonfire underneath its corpse to burn it. And then once the appendage started growing arms and legs and a head, we took it and threw it on the fire to dispose of it
I was
properly.
like, but my trophy. They're like, collect the bones. I was like, but it was a bone.
I am
No.
gonna have so much fun with you three when we play our game. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The reason why I wanted this story told is because this is the adventure and the excitement that happens.
Fuck you, Hasbro. What?
Yeah, the adventure and excitement that groups of folks get together to bring something to life. I mean, it uses your imagination. It really is a great tool. Like, it got a bad rap back in the 70s and 80s and whatnot. But
Satan.
Everything we don't understand is evil, and they're summoning demons in the bathroom. Get them
No,
out.
but get this. My rolls were bad up until the point where she actually took a sickle to his pickle.
Then that one was good.
Listen, my rolls for my characters stuff, my charisma were horrible. Let's see.
Yes.
My
the specific attack.
my roll to distract the bandits was horrible, where she just popped up and they're like, hey, look at my titties. That was horrible. They ignored her and went back to fighting the old lady.
Rolled a 3.
Rolled a 3.
Damn.
Let's see.
Booba did not work.
I was a ranger.
No advantage at all with the boobs? Damn.
No. So I also tried taming one of the trolls' little mosquito sucker thingies. So I went past everybody and tried taming one of the suckers, and I ended up getting backhanded by the troll.
Yep.
So
Dang.
after I got healed up a little bit, it was like everybody was giving him like cheap shots to the groin or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it too. I just came up with my sickle, and then I rolled, and it was my first ever best roll ever.
You failed successfully.
Yes.
I got my revenge.
Task failed successfully.
Awesome.
Guess
As a DM, I am making happy noises.
I was the underdog.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, GM. You have to be careful now. GM.
No, because as long as you're playing D&D, you can say Dungeon Master.
So it's now dungeon time.
Dun 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 dungeon.
Yep.
For those of you who've been under a rock the past week and a half,
God
Yeah,
fucking damn it.
I'm going to mute out and let you go and make some popcorn. I'll be back.
okay, so to put into perspective, last week
I fucked up. I was on the wrong side of things.
No, you didn't fuck up. You, for the first time since I've met you, you had faith in humanity, at least in terms of the company. You had faith that things weren't as bad as they were, and they were just they would fix it. So if it wasn't for him last week, what's about to happen tonight would have happened last week. So thank you for at least prolonging it for a week. I mean, but now you know you can't trust people who are going after money.
That is very true. Mistakes were made.
Like I said, if you've been under a rock for the past week and a half, Wizard of the Coast and Hasbro, as Crit so perfectly put earlier, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Under the old open game license, people were able to create homebrew, thrive, make money off of Dungeons and Dragons and their intellectual property because of how the license was created.
The short version of the license was, as long as you don't say it's official content, you're good. If you don't say it's D&D presents or something by D&D, you were good. You could say it was based on D&D or compatible with D&D. You were perfectly fine. Make all the money you wanted. And then
the leak happened. Now, the funny thing about the leak was it wasn't even an official leak of a document. It was a document that was attached to a contract that was sent out to developers and bigger ups in the community to have them sign blindly because of the new game coming out, the new edition coming out. Some people were smart enough to read the fucking document. I mean, you do that for a living, so I know you would have done it the moment it hit your desk.
Oh yeah.
And long story short, the wording in the document that changed the OGL from a 900 word document and agreement to a 9,000 word document agreement, besides the normal business mumbo jumbo and bullshit, tried to negate the old OGL, everything created under the old OGL, and everything that was created in propriety from the past to now could now be not only monetized by Hasbro and Wizard of the Coast, they could produce it in their own official work without crediting or paying the original creators.
Yes, they got to have the license to all your product. Everything you made, a what was it, worldwide license to reproduce as they see fit, essentially.
And now, you and I both agreed on some points of what the OGL that they were trying to push was, like the ones that were making like $750,000 or more needed to pay a royalty. We were okay with that because they were making big off of the royalties of Dungeons and Dragons. It makes sense to pay the person that made your life where it was. I mean, even like I said, I think I mentioned it last week. Even Unity and Unreal Engine, once you create a game and it gets to a certain point of sales, you pay royalties to Unreal Engine and
Unity is a per seat license, regardless. It's Unreal Engine 4 is the one where if you make under a threshold, it's free, nothing got to pay.
Right.
And then you got I think it's 5% of your sales or 5% of your profit. One of the two goes to Unreal once you start making money at a certain level. But yeah, exactly that concept.
And to me, that makes sense. It makes sense to pay royalties to the people who created the initial concept that allowed you to create this thing that blew up and is bringing attention to more concepts within the realm. I was okay with at least that aspect, but the way they worded it to where even no matter when you created it, they could take it, print it, and say it was theirs, that negates any kind of creativity within the genre whatsoever, because people would be scared stiff to say I made anything for Dungeons and Dragons because they think that their livelihood would just go up in smoke, and they could not fight it.
Want to know something really, really funny? Is I was watching a live stream today by a person who used to work for Paizo. We'll get into Paizo in a second because Paizo is
currently the hero.
They're fucking going God mode. Mm-hmm. But this former employee of Paizo was talking about this leaked, quote unquote, leaked document. It was Wizards of the Coast likes to say that it was a draft. That's incorrect. According to this person and his reliable sources at Wizards and at some other publishers who were affected by this, it was the end product. That was the full release terms and contract that was handed out to publishers and developers. And it was sign it or sign it. Those were your choices. So everyone took the third choice of, well, fuck you, we're not signing it.
Oh yeah, hold my beer, bitch.
And to make matters worse, once it became apparent how shitty it was, D&D Beyond posted an unsigned media release. No one put their name to this. We rolled a 1 is literally some of the words they use. And not only that, they gaslit and said, you may think you have won, or they think they've won, but we've won as well.
The line. You think they say they have won, but we won too. That's the equivalent of a kid that got their ass beat. No, I'm sorry. The equivalent of an anime antagonist getting their ass beat, but blowing up the planet saying they won too.
Yeah, and it got even worse when in the statement they sent out, Nowhere did they say they were going to remove the language that said they get full license control. What they said is, oh, well, we want to make it unequivocally clear that we're not here to steal your work as some of you may have thought. So they fucking gaslit the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got even dumber with some of the other shit they said, which I want to get into because I want to get into the hero of the fucking hour, Paizo.
But can we point out one thing real quick about that response? That
it was tone deaf and stupid.
Not only that, it was 10 days of silence.
Yes.
From the initial announcement, ish, yeah, because we did our first talk about it last Saturday, but they didn't talk about it. I think their official post was Thursday.
Yeah, they should have done that like within the first 48 hours. Been like, yeah, here's
minimum a week. There was never a louder silence I have ever heard in my entire life.
Oh my
and
God.
On top of that, they had scheduled a live press stream that they were going to come on live and talk about it, and they canceled the stream.
Well, do you know how they canceled it and the reasons why? So they started the stream, and the audience flamed them in chat. Then the mods set the chat to only allow people to type in chat if they had been a follower for at least a month. That didn't stop the flaming. It just let it continue to the point where they were like, fuck it, and canceled.
Because they know they fucked up. They fucked up.
I guess they figured that if you've been following for a month or more, you'll be a loyal fan. Well, I'm sorry, you shit on the entire fan base. Now, Paizo has released a statement after about a week.
Disclaimer for those who are listening who don't know who Paizo is. He's the creator of Pathfinder.
Yes.
Pathfinder is it's his own realm, his own rules.
You can't say D20 system because that's trademarked by Wizards of the Coast.
That's right. It's his own way of playing a tabletop fantasy game on
with 20-sided dice.
With his own rules, races, classes, yada yada yada. He's already in his second edition of this system. Go ahead, Avi.
It's a D20 style game.
I guess you could say they pretty much played themselves.
Oh yeah, they rolled in that one on everything.
I gotta take another shot. Oh shit.
Yeah, so Paizo has come forward and said, enough of this bullshit. This is all crap. They released a statement this week saying, actually, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday.
It was Thursday. It was the same day. I think it was the same day as
same day as the tone deaf. Yeah, the tone deaf response, same day. So they've released a statement saying they are now working on their own version of the Open Game License, or OGL. Their version of this license is going to be called the Open RPG Creative License, or, and I love this, the ORC license.
Time
looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Like, it's crazy. Like, everybody has rallied behind this man. Like, he is literally the hero of the tabletop community right now.
To really start off the digs, that they took tons of shots at Wizards of the Coast. So would you believe that two of the people who are at Paizo were there when the original OGL was written and helped write it? Another person, so two of the people helped write the original. A third person was there when it was written, and the law firm they're engaging, because they need a lawyer to write this new ORC license. The law firm they're engaging, the specific lawyer they're engaging, helped write the original OGL. So,
don't cite the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written. I had to put it in there.
Absolutely. Like, I fucking wrote this shit. Go away. So Paizo they've actually gone on record as saying they hope it doesn't come to it, but they are absolutely sure and this is part of what's going on with the OGL 1.1 is Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast has said all the previous product released under 1.0 and 1.0A will now be revoked. You will no longer have a license to use their systems under that license terms. Paizo has said unequivocally they're pretty sure you can't do that, and they are willing to go to court. Wizards of the Coast would be absolutely stupid to go to court, and rightly so, because they will lose at every step of the way, except if you go after any copyrighted or trademarked material, then you're screwed. But that being said, Paizo has engaged this law firm and they're helping write the Orc license.
I love it.
Love it. I love it too. And part of what they've done is said, no one company is going to own the Orc license. For the time being, the intellectual property law firm they've engaged will hold on to the license and be a steward of the license until such time as they find a foundation with a long track record of looking after licensing, sort of like the Linux Foundation, and they specifically said the Linux Foundation, in which case they will turn the license over to that nonprofit organization to manage it forever. And part of the language of this Orc license is it's irrevocable. The license is irrevocable. Anything released under Orc, irrevocable license. And part of the reason, Paizo's reasoning behind not having it owned by any one company was that they did not want to be in a position where, they get bought or someone else, gets bought or whatever. Management changes, who knows? And then all of a sudden you get in a situation where a new company tries to pull a Wizards and try and pull away the license, and say all your previous release product is no longer allowed to be released. You have to take it off shelves, and this is our license now. We're going to, drain every dollar from you. This is amazing because looking at Paizo's official statement on Twitter, where they linked the blog article, the number of publishers who replied saying, hell yeah, sign me up, was amazing. And in their blog post, they even said, hey, if you want to get in on this and help write this shit, contact us here, fill out this form. And
I need that link, by the way. I need that link after the show.
Absolutely.
Because my ass is going to be in that.
So what I really love is if you've ever seen the final Avengers movie, the final scene with Thanos, where you have all the superheroes from all the previous Marvel movies coming out of the portals, to come help. Well, they've done that, but they've put a list of all the big name streamers, all the big name publishers, all the big name everything.
You just want me to go find the video and just play it so that way everybody can enjoy the epicness that is.
Yeah, you know what? I did put it in chat, and I had it on, I think it's under general.
Is it going to be copywritten or something? Is it going to be?
It absolutely will. It is. It's 100%.
We'll watch it. We'll watch it. We'll watch it like in the end, like after the show's over, like the end 30.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I thought was amazing was, like I said, all the companies and people they named. And then, of course, there's Ant-Man that comes out of the rubble, because this is the scene where Ant-Man's been, like, smashed into the ground and, everyone's dejected. And Ant-Man is that giant size, pulls himself out of the rubble, and on his chest is written Paizo.
Yep, and then little Kobold Press.
Kobold Game or Kobold Press, yeah.
My boy!
And just everyone rallies behind it, and then it's got like when it zooms out or pans out and you see all the armies and stuff, it's got like TTRPG fans, Twitter, Reddit, and everything just attacking Hasbro, and that is fucking golden. I am so happy and thrilled with the editing quality on that video, number one. And number two, just that it was done in the first place. That was phenomenal and a great screw you to Hasbro over this whole thing, because what they did was unacceptable, and I'm so glad they're being taken to task over this.
And it's kind of like a correlation between the two stories. You had the night with Microsoft having the FTC going after them about possibly being too big and monopolizing their stuff, and Hasbro was attempting and really hard attempting to do the same thing. The difference is you pissed off your fan base. You pissed off the nerds. You pissed off the people who. I mean, I'm gonna get close to the mic for this one. You pissed off the people who spend their entire lives learning the rules inside and out, the legalities of a character, the necessities of a character, the rule mongers of the
rule
game.
Lawyers. Rules lawyers.
You thought it was a good idea to piss these people off? You fucked up, Wizbro. Wizbro, by the way, is my official term for the whole situation. Wizbro. Because they just don't deserve to have their full name done. They're a bunch of dumbasses.
Bruh.
And bruh.
What was that?
Go ahead, Crit.
I was gonna say, I'm like, they should have took it out of the chapters for what happened at Blizzard last year. Wizard meet Blizzard, last year. But yeah, it's like you don't want to fuck with the fan base, because if you fuck with the fan base, guess what? Your subscriptions are going down. And if subscriptions are what you're really like trying to, get at, you're not going to get them. In fact, you're going to get
Speaking
cancellations.
of-
Which, yeah, no, they've been
Thank you for bringing it up.
They've been
So-
leaving D&D Beyond in a max exodus, man.
So part of that leaked email that this internal employee sent to the reporter, I think it was at Gizmodo or IO9, one of the two. Part of that email said that management at Wizards of the Coast has never once ever said anything good about the players, and they've always viewed the players as, quote, an obstacle to the profits. So they literally, management at Wizards thinks of all the gamers out there who play this stuff as just in the way of letting them make money. And one thing that this employee had said is that to get real-time metrics of interest and how decisions are being reacted to, they use subscriptions, concurrent subscriptions at D&D Beyond. And there's a very good reason why we do that, because there's a huge delay in when you print new material and when it becomes released in a book format versus when you make it available online through D&D Beyond or like a PDF. You get instant download, instant purchase. You can really gauge the popularity. Well, excuse me here. Hold on a sec. I'm dying and I need some wine because my throat's killing me.
Yeah, go for it. I'll make a little comment.
All right.
The whole, like, that was the biggest thing, was that little nugget about subscriptions on D&D Beyond.
Oh my
Because like I can't tell you the amount I've been watching TikToks, I've been watching Reels, I've been watching Twitter. I have been keeping up with every little person that's been pissed off, ticked off, aggravated, upset about this. And the majority of the things I have read, heard, and seen, they said, I'm not talking to the person that literally has so much money invested into D&D Beyond because you bought every single book. You can't afford to cancel your subscription because you have to have that for your stuff. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the Joe Blow who's literally just started a subscription, or somebody who's been in there for making character creation. Get out. Cancel. Quit. Leave. If not buying the book when it comes out in 2 years, the new 1E isn't going to be enough, leave D&D Beyond, and that will send the loudest message you can.
D&D Shorts, who's a big YouTube channel. There's a woman as well. I retweeted her tweet. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'd have to go back through like 30,000 tweets in the last 24 hours. She posted a screenshot saying, I've canceled my D&D Beyond sub. I suggest you do that as well. So many people jumped on this and decided, hey, you know what? Fuck you, Wizards. I'm out as well. So many people canceled their subscriptions all at once. It actually crashed the servers for D&D Beyond. And then, just like Blizzard last year when they were getting shit on for being stupid, they hid the cancel subscription
They
link,
moved the my subscription button to where it was harder to find it.
Yep. And then eventually they did the same thing for deleting your account. You had to where you, just like Blizzard, you had to open a ticket to delete your account or cancel your subscription. That's how fucked up it was. And I haven't been able to confirm this, but I did hear a rumor that Hasbro did take a substantial hit to their stock price.
Yep.
Just from that debacle. So I am really enthused by the community's response of saying, fuck you, I'm out. Because they really deserve it. I did link the video of the Avengers remake into chat if people want to watch it. I highly recommend it. It's very well edited. I would say play it here, but it is 100% 2.5 minutes of Marvel movies, so that kind of goes outside fair use.
Let's not piss off Disney, please.
I want to say though, it's basically a case of sticking your hand, Hasbro trying to stick their hands in a cookie jar, getting caught, and then having the freaking cookie jar snapped closed on their hand, be like, nah, you have to wait.
No, they put their hand in the cookie jar and found out real quick it was a mimic.
Or it was the oatmeal raisin cookie.
Oh my god.
Like, it's just absolutely astounding that they think that this would have worked. Like, going back to the original,
part of that email was
the gaslighting. The gaslighting alone, blaming the people who literally made Dungeons and Dragons what it is. We're not talking about Critical Role. We're not talking about
I
Dimension
have something to
20.
say about them as well. Holy
Well,
shit.
I'll let you, but because I haven't got to hear anything from them yet. I've been busy this past couple of days, but leave those alone. Even without the ego boost on Twitch that Critical Role has given the Dungeons and Dragons community to bring it to where it is today, without who we are, who the community is, you wouldn't have the fan base that Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons
100%.
had.
The
But
fans are Dungeons and Dragons.
but on the
Wizards
flip
of the Coast
side,
is the system.
on the flip side, I will say this. I think I saw it on TikTok. I'm not gonna quote it because I don't remember exactly how he said, but he said it the best way. Wizard of the Coast and Hasbro gave the fans one last good adventure. They became the big bad evil guy at the end, trying to fight the heroes, which are Paizo, Cobalt Press, and the community, trying to defeat them and finding a way to find freedom in this crazy time. And
Yes.
it's amazing the community's response across the board. And Hasbro, and before they even gave that bullshit gaslighting explanation on D&D Beyond, the silence alone was enough to tell the community they didn't give a flying flip about us.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely like the silence was deafening.
The
100%.
loudest silence you would ever hear, especially in the gaming community. And with so many other systems that you can play between Pathfinder, of course, number one, you have Call of Cthulhu, you have Starfinder, you
Yep.
have Vampire the Masquerade, you have thousands upon thousands, okay, thousands maybe a little bit facetious, hundreds upon hundreds are better, of different kind of game systems you can use to tell your story. Because as a
Yep.
game master himself, I'm not going to use the bad word, a game master himself, I am in it to tell a good damn story. And I
Well,
want to bring my characters and my people along for the ride. We're not here, majority of us are not here to make the money, to make a name for ourselves. We're here to have fun. And when the people who created the subject matter for us to have fun look at us and try to spit in our face for a couple extra pennies in the jar,
that's disgusting.
we will be Bender and we will make our own Dungeons and Dragons with blackjack and hookers, you son of a bitch.
And I actually read a statement from Critical Role, and if you read
I
the
remember that.
statement,
I remember your retreat. Yes, go ahead.
yes, if you read the statement from Critical Role, it sounds like a bunch of words saying nothing. But then you have to remember, because they make so much money, they do have a custom agreement with Wizards of the Coast, which means the statement, you can tell, was written by a PR firm / a lawyer. It is written in such a way that they do not say anything wrong, but they also speak volumes by not saying anything at all. And normally when you speak volumes by saying nothing at all, that's usually bad. In this case, it's one of the rare cases where reading between the lines and seeing what they did not say speaks volumes to how they really feel. And the sense you get when you've worked in that industry, or if you've had to work behind legal, documents that say you can't say shit, which I have in the past, you get used to the language and the verbiage. And the whole document reads as, to me, as, like I said, someone who's dealt with this shit, we can't say anything wrong because we're legally not allowed to say anything wrong, but we fucking hate the situation, and we really fucking hate the situation. So you can tell that, like, they're pissed. They just can't say anything negative. So all the words they use are very neutral. It's very carefully worded things, and it does not say anything either way, but that kind of a statement is the statement you make when you're so pissed off, but you're legally prevented from saying anything wrong or anything bad about the company that you're legally, bound with.
because
So
they're in deep with D&D Beyond. They've been using D&D
absolutely.
Beyond, I think, since season 2.
Well, and
of
they have
Critical
their
Role.
own publishing company. So if that publishing company decides to make their own 20-sided dice game system, not playing a D20 system, a 20-sided dice system, they can easily walk away from it. Now,
Oh, I guarantee you, after this season of Critical Role, when they finish up this story and Matt Mercer says this story's over, I guarantee you, if they even do come back for a season 4, it will be in a completely new game system if things do not change with Wizards.
well, and that's the thing. Like, the big thing is, like, Kobold Press actually announced they are making their own game system, which is awesome. They're gonna help sign on to the Orc license. They're gonna make their own game system. And that's the big thing. There's so many more, like you were saying, there's so many more game systems out there that are not D&D. The best way to show Hasbro how pissed you are is to hit them in the wallet by saying, I'm not playing your system. I'm going to go to a totally different system and screw you.
I mean, my ass literally Wednesday. I think I told you that earlier this week in our Discord. I am going to go ahead and buy the hardcover of Pathfinder. I've made the decision that I'm going to learn Pathfinder, and that's going to be my new system until something gives, because it's just terrible what they've. You can only bite the hand that feeds you so many times before there's no more fingers to suck on.
Yeah, right. Like it's kind of ridiculous how they've gone about this, but at the same time, it's Hasbro. They're trying to pull the Nintendo of give me all the money. And somebody at an executive level was sitting there going, hey, wait a minute. People are making all this content and we're not making any money off of it. We should get a cut of this. And instead of discussing...
But the community would be fine with a cut. The community would be fine for the smaller creators, 5% royalty. When you get to that $750,000 cap, the 20% royalty, they would be absolutely fine with that cut. But Hasbro wanted to retrospectively take everything,
and they wanted to cancel all the previous agreements. They wanted to cancel all the previous licensing, and they wanted complete creative control over all the products developed. And that is completely unacceptable.
Oh, but don't worry. You guys won, but so did we.
Yeah.
Wait, but doesn't Chris Metzen have his own little game like Ouroboros or something?
I think so.
Yeah, I do believe it is. I don't think he's released it yet, has he?
I think he had a Kickstarter for it. So.
Oh, and that was the other thing.
There's going to be a lot of Kickstarters getting a lot of funding here in the next couple of months.
Exactly, and that was part of the other thing is they wanted to, part of the original like 1.1 that was sent to publishers and everything, basically says Kickstarters are on the table for taking your content. If you develop content, we're going to take it from you. We own your license. And if you make more than $50,000 a year, you have to tell us.
Right.
Which I'm still not comfortable with. Even on last show, I was like, I don't think you can do that unless it's specifically in the contract you're signing to.
Because that was their way of being able to say, oh, this is really getting traction. Let's make a book about it and then start selling it on our platform.
We're gonna take this license and now belongs to us. Fuck you. And I was absolutely I'm quick to admit that I screwed up. I was trying to be nice and defend them and say maybe it's not so bad, but my god, it's horrendous.
No, to your credit, like you were the voice of reason in the situation of the Nordic Cajuns' rage that was coming that night. So there's no reason to apologize, because there were a lot of people who were trying to hold up hope, like you, that this wasn't going to be some bullshit, that this was a mistake. They were going to come out and fix it. But Hasbro not only let you down, but let everybody down.
Yeah.
Everybody was let down by the silence 1 and the gaslighting 2. They show their true colors, and it really takes what I mentioned this in the Discord the other day. It really takes my theory that I had and puts it into the blender and then pours it down the sink. My theory was that this quote unquote leak went out, and it was done on purpose by Wizards alone, not by Hasbro, just by Wizards. That way Wizards can show Hasbro, say, look, what happens when you piss off the people. You need to calm down. Let us fix this so we can do it. Wizards is just as bad as Hasbro.
Oh yeah, the fact that they sat there and gaslighted the whole community, saying, "Oh, we've won too," and then when they say it's still, like, they literally said the OGL is still coming. They made no mention that they're going to revamp the wording. They made they were like, "Oh, we're trying to crack down on hateful content that's being made for it." That was already part of the first OGL. Like,
the fact that they tried to double down on the racism and the bigotry and stuff like that, I was like,
that's
that was that people were making jokes about bingo cards about what was going to go down in
oh yeah.
the thing, and that was one of the biggest bingo slots. Was they were going to double down on the stuff that was racist and bigotry, which still is in your books, Wizard.
Well, yeah, and it's to the point now where they're actually looking at changing the races to species because of how it's overtly racist. And what was it, like 2 months ago? They released that entire new character sheet that referenced, like, what was it, slavery? And they're like, "Oh,
Did it
we fucked
really?
up." Yeah, it was either slavery or something else horribly racist. And like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a new diversity crew that goes through and actually looks at everything before it gets published." It was like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?"
Like you're, I mean, just like you cannot. I mean, this is from the fantasy standpoint. That kind of stuff's going to happen regardless, because dwarves and elves are always going to hate each other. That's
Well, and that's
going to
fine.
happen. That kind of stuff is going to happen regardless. But to try to change the entire thing to be more politically correct in the real realm, that alone
Well,
shows lack
the
of gumption in
the
Hasbro.
reason behind the reason behind that was mostly because a lot of the characters were developed on tropes. Like, a lot of the races were developed on tropes over the years, and it was just recently that big one was discovered. Let me see if I can go find it really quickly. Was it characters or cards that were? Yeah, so they apologized for an offensive ... I don't care about cookies. Go away. Yeah, those confirm my no cookies. Apologize for offensive racial stereotypes in Dungeons and Dragons. This was, what was this? This was in September of last year. And it was about a race called the Hadozi. I don't know if that's how you say it. I never found out exactly what they were doing, but they were using racial tropes and stereotypes that should never have been used ever. And yeah. I mean, if you want to get rid of the bigotry and the racism and shit in your products, in the products overall, don't start with the OGL. Start with your own house. Clean house first, these shits.
You cannot build a house of glass and throw stones. You
Exactly.
have to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk at the same time.
Now, I know Lumi had just mentioned in chat that he had a bit of a puppy emergency, which kind of sucks. Are you back yet, Lumi? 3, 2, 1. No, he's not back yet. So awesome. We get to rant some.
Let's keep going. Let's go, baby. We are already in overtime.
Well, see, what I want to know is Wednesdays, Raina and I, or CritChicken and I, do a campaign where we are all level 7, I want to say.
It was 9.
9, sorry, yeah, we're all level 9.
Fast enough.
9.
3, 2, 1, yeah, you're not there. So yeah, we're level 9. So her first time ever playing D&D was level 9 on our Wednesday night campaign, where she got introduced to one of my characters. Well, no, that was Thursday.
Oh,
Wednesday night was the split personality, nice guy, nice healer, or really, really evil necromancer type guy. Now, the funny part is I've agreed. Someone suggested it in our group, and the DM allowed it, and I agreed with it because he's like, the DM was like, "Yeah, if you want to do it, go right ahead." So we're doing Ghosts of Saltmarsh for that campaign, and the way it works now is every long rest for those of you who don't play the game is basically like any rest period of like 8 hours. After the end of a long rest, I have to roll a D100. And 1 through 50, I'm the horrible, horrible guy who just wants to watch the world burn. And then 51 through 100, I'm the nice guy who's gone so far as, help people. Sorry, it's not Ghost of Saltmarsh. That was a different campaign. We're in hell right now. And the nice, friendly healing guy, he's gone so far as offering to heal a demon. Now, there's one caveat to my rolls. Nat 1, Nat 100. On a Nat 1, I am the good guy trapped in the bad body, so I only have the bad spells to use as the good healer. And if I roll a Nat 100, I am the bad guy stuck in the good body with nothing but good spells to cast. And I rolled a 100.
Laughs in GM.
I had so much fun playing a confused, angry asshole for her first introduction to A, the group, and B, the game, was me being an angry asshole stuck in a really nice guy's body.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Truth be told, I kind of forgot what happened because I think I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, a little bit. It's fine.
A lot of it. I fell asleep.
I occasionally get asked to do like a summary of the events of the previous weeks, and I never remember because I have the memory of a sieve. And I would normally used to have said goldfish, like a memory of a goldfish, but they've been proven to actually have decent memories. So I have memory worse than a goldfish. And they got tiny brains. Keep
Last time on Dungeon Crawl Z.
I have no clue because I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
That's why I have 100 notebooks, because I don't remember anything either.
You just need to remember which notebook it is, so make sure to keep them in order.
Those are parchments that we use with pens to write down things.
Oh, what's a parchment and what's a pen?
A parchment is when you take a tree and whittle it down to a really thin thing. And parchment is when you destroy a certain bug and it turns into a certain ointment, and you can use it as a excretion that you can use to design words on the parchment.
So you take bug shit and smear it on a piece of tree?
Pretty much.
You can call it Smirnoff.
Take a shot, Lou. Or take a shot.
Damn it! I thought it was done.
I think that we should probably wrap this up a bit.
Yeah, we are already 15 minutes into overtime.
Oh, no, I already expected to go into overtime, and so I was just like, well, let's just let it go, see where it goes. And I think we finally wound down, and it's a good time to go ahead and push the rest of the agenda, which is, what is everyone doing? We'll start with Imee and or Crit.
Still doing a little bit of WoW. I'm currently playing SnowRunner, actually live playing SnowRunner while we have this discussion and smashing into trees. Also, Wednesday, I'm very excited for that. That's session 2 for Reyna in our Wednesday night campaign in Hell. As long as we don't go back into the River Styx, which got set on fire by one of our party members a couple weeks ago.
And I tried to get gunk off of acidic tar off of the tires when we were stuck in something.
What was it? You were trying to make it rain or set it on fire? I don't remember.
I tried doing a bucket.
Yes. And it worked. That was a nice thing.
She was doing the WAP?
Yeah, well, she was making stuff. She was making it rain with like water, but not making it rain as in money flying everywhere, because that'd be fucking hilarious. But
no.
And Wednesday or Thursday night, it's going to be equally as exciting because that's going to be session 2 of chopping certain body parts off of certain creatures.
Oh yeah, at the end of the thing, it's like, a new creature. And then my character could be like, I'm going to stick my sickle where it's probably shouldn't go.
What's your character's name, Rena?
Steven Seagal as Cockbutcher.
Don't worry about it.
Huh?
Don't worry about it.
No. I was going to say, your character's name, the pickle stickler.
It's Raya, but I think I should have named her Lorena.
Lorena the pickle sickle.
Oh no. Actually, you know what? I think I want to make a character at some point literally named Don't Worry About It.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, hold that thought.
So you could have, get fucked, and then you could have Dwop. What does Dwop mean?
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Don't worry about it.
What does it mean? Literally, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm scared. Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen.
You'll be fine.
It's okay.
You'll be fine. Just accept it. It's going to happen. Oh no.
More roleplay shenanigans for the barcode and CritChicken. That's awesome.
And I'm leveling up a druid now, and my current level is 69.
Oh, you're doing it WoW right now?
all through the session I was playing.
I figured as much.
Hey, I was on point. I was on point.
You
Yes.
were. You had it. It was like,
I can multitask. I'm a good girl.
Cajun, what do you got going
Yeah,
on?
me.
More shinies?
Well, first I'm going to make the unofficial announcement. I am in the middle of creating a campaign for these 3 knuckleheads.
Woo!
We will, with all the shenanigans that are going down, I don't know if we're going to be doing the traditional. I'm not going to say the actual word. I'll say traditional from now on for our code name, or if I will be doing it in Pathfinder. But it probably won't be until March that I start telling you guys more about it, to where we actually look into actually starting it, because you're one of 4 campaigns I am creating right now.
Nice.
Forever GM blood flows deep within these veins.
We will be using a 20-sided dice system.
Correct.
Is what you... Excellent.
Yes. And I'm looking forward to leading you all into a lovely adventure. And then
Definitely one to die for.
Yes, unfortunately. And then we will I have to talk with Louie about logistics and when we were going to do it. If we would do it on a separate night, or if it would be a special night once a month. We do it here on the show. We have to talk about logistics about it. That's not until March. That's why I'm calling this the unofficial official announcement of that coming down the pipeline. But as for me, yes, still shiny hunting. Right now, my schedule is Tuesdays and Thursdays, because that's all my schedule allows me to do without going insane. And this week, I mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the show in the pre-show, but I'll go ahead and say it now. We're going to be doing the color roulette, as it were, to determine which shiny I will be chasing for any given night. If I land on that color, I have to go through the Pokédex of the game and figure out which shiny is that color, and that's the one we're going to be going after first. After that, we'll let the wind guide our ways. Lumi has been instrumental at being my good luck charm, apparently, over the past few nights.
It's entertaining content. What can I say?
It's fun. Like the just waiting for it to show up. That the moment it shows up is just elation. Including the point where you lose a bet and you have to drink tequila all night because of Crit's dad jokes and puns. So
Well,
I had bet on it.
hearing the Nordic squee is worth it, so it'll be fine.
Yes, the Nordic squee is one that is rare, but it is also one that you can live with. It's awesome.
Is that it? Like it was.
Oh my! Like we were with the Gyarados. I was like, okay, Lumi, we're looking for one that's red. It is red and dairy.
Why? Because it's red.
But doesn't red equal dead, or is that just WoW?
That is just WoW, because I did not kill that shiny. Thank God.
No,
okay.
hey, I got the achievement. Why? Because it's red. Okay, I had to go to AQ for that shit.
Yes, that is
Why?
going.
Because it's red.
Awesome role playing and creating role playing and shiny hunting. And what is Lumi doing?
What is Lumi doing? Tell us about what Lumi is up to.
Continue making the UDP broadcast experience as awesome as possible.
Because you mother lovers got an hour and 30 minutes this week. thanks to Rage. Pure unadulterated rage. I would like to rage.
Not Shadow Legends, though.
Oh, no, we are not ever going to be sponsored by Rage Shadow Legends, so please.
But that's raid, not rage. That's like bug spray.
True.
So that includes the Discord, which, by the way, is open to join. Please accept the rules. You can find the link to my About section on Twitch and my Twitter profile. You can also... I've been threatening a website for months, and I finally got one up because it was a side effect to a bot I built. So that exists now. You can go visit the cover page that responds HTTP 200 just so my bot will stay alive at udpbroadcast.com. And yeah, I know it's going to be a thing. We're going to be searchable and all kinds of cool stuff. I'm looking forward to.
Bring that engagement here, boy.
Oh yeah, it's just a lot of building and a lot of and it'll be fun. I'm having a blast doing.
Dude, this is so much fun. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Lumi, thank you so much for inviting us to this and having us come on the show. Because this has been such a great experience. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. And we just want to say thank you so much for just... I don't mean to speak for you two.
Absolutely.
Majority tequila making me what's the word? sentimental, but yes, thank you so much for this because it's fun. I'm having way too much fun with this.
Like I said in the pre-show, eventually it'll go from a soapbox to a stage, and that's my goal.
And with this podcast, I have just dinged to level 70.
Yes.
Nice. See, we are a productive podcast.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wait, is this my third or my fourth level? 70.
I only have one.
I don't think I have any.
Join the Discord. Go visit the website. Go harass us on Twitter at IME21, Needs Espresso, The Nordic Cajun, and Luminary Weekly. We're pretty responsive.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You'll like my retweets.
Oh, yeah. I retweet. Oh, boy, do I.
Two-thirds of us always stay horny on main.
I plead the fifth.
I do not. I
like I said, two-thirds of us.
That doesn't matter.
I wasn't gonna call nobody out there.
It doesn't matter if you're horny on main or main on horny. Like, is there?
That's right.
Boo.
I just remember the street names where it had horny on top of Main Street.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a phenomenal T-shirt.
I need that shirt so bad in my life.
And I guess you can say that I am Bard.
Stop! No! I can't take another one. Stop!
Do it.
I can't.
He has to be able to make it to bed. No face planting in the office.
Do it.
I guess I'm Bard and also shots fired.
What you're hearing is liver failure happening live and in person.
Bottoms up.
Shot.
Squat.
No.
Everybody squat. No.
I can prove I hit level 70 on my druid too.
Oh.
I'll post a screenshot.
All right.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to drop the local recording, and we'll go ahead and just stream our way out of here. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you for coming. Bye.